Chapter 1140, The Sliver of Hope to Survive. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. The surrounding area was frost white in color. Countless gray clouds the size of carriages hovered around Fang Yuan. Although Fang Yuan did not feel any wind, these clouds coiled around him swiftly like hunting sharks or a pack of starving wolves. This is a battlefield immortal killer move, and one which I have not seen before. It seems to be mostly formed of cloud path. Fang Yuan was fully vigilant, and after the brief shock, his mind worked rapidly, analyzing the situation. Forget about the battlefield immortal killer move. The main point is, there are actually 9 Gu immortals and a dragon immemorial desolate beast. Fang Yuan observed the 9 figures. These mysterious Gu immortals were covered in a layer of gray clouds, covering their true appearances, only revealing their eyes. As for the Gu immortals' auras, the clouds could not hide them. They were leaked. That dragon beast was also covered in a thick layer of gray cloud as it hovered, facing Fang Yuan. It was completely releasing its majestically shocking aura. In Fang Yuan's perception, the dragon was like a lofty mountain, while he himself was like an ant at the base of the mountain. Fang Yuan was shocked. This group was too powerful. He could not even think of being their match. Strange. How could there be so many people lying in ambush? Besides shock, Fang Yuan also felt an enormous doubt. The northern icy plain rarely had humans, as there were almost no resources in it. This was a desolate land created by reckless, savage demon Venerable. The only wealth to be found was reckless savage's true meaning, which Chudu desired very much. As a result, Gu immortals rarely came here. Moreover, before each earthly calamity, Fang Yuan would gather intel about any movements regarding Northern Plains righteous forces through Treasure Yellow Heaven, Langya sect, and even Chudu. There was no commotion from Northern Plains super forces. Because of He tribe's extermination, everyone was absorbing their gains and adapting to the completely new power structure of forces. Almost all of these righteous forces had territories in Northern Plains, which were guarded by Gu immortals. In fact, it was difficult for Huangjin tribes to mobilize 3 or 4 Gu immortals at once unless something big happened. While Demonic Path and Lone Immortals might be free, they usually moved alone. How could they suddenly gather into one group? Moreover, I have been holed up inside Langya Blessed Land for almost all the time, avoiding Wisdom Path Gu immortals deductions. I am also protected by Dark Limit and other methods. It is almost impossible for my traces to be deduced so clearly. Where did these Gu immortals come from? Could they be from Central Continent? Previously, to investigate the truth of 88 True Yang Building, Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects had allied and built a team of Gu immortals to send to Northern Plains. Currently, Heavenly Court was trying every means possible to deal with Shadow Sect in Fang Yuan. It would not be strange if they sent out another group. However, Central Continent's Gu immortals, especially from the 10 great ancient sects or Heavenly Court, did things openly and in a grand style. How could they act so evasively like now? These Gu immortals' appearances were hidden. Even the immemorial desolate beast was the same, and only their vague figures could be seen. Maybe this is only an illusion created by the battlefield killer move? Fang Yuan quickly speculated. From the time he put away his immortal aperture and prepared to return, to being ambushed, falling into the trap, and his current analysis of countermeasures, only a short few moments had passed. The mental capability of the body from the sovereign immortal fetus was excellent by itself, and with Wisdom Path methods to support him, Fang Yuan had already reacted. If it truly was such a terrifying formation, Fang Yuan did not have any hope. But he felt the probability of this being an illusion was huge, because the origins of these Gu immortals could not be explained at all. A sharp light blossomed in Fang Yuan's eyes. At the next moment, he decisively activated Sword Escape Immortal Gu and charged towards the Gu immortals. The 9 Gu immortals did not react as if they were stupefied. Fang Yuan flew nearer before stopping. 3 breaths future vision and blood-stained Conqueror's robe were already activated as he pointed. Sword light shot out. Immortal killer with sword marks targeting death. A goo immortal with rank 6 aura moved, but a rank 7 female goo immortal to the side grabbed their shoulder. You can't take on this move, let me. Her voice had just sounded out when she pointed with a finger. An ice mirror immediately appeared in the air. The sword light condensed by sword marks targeting death shot at the ice mirror, but it did not pierce through. Instead, it was reflected away. She is able to change the direction of my immortal killer move. Fang Yuan's heart chilled as he quickly maneuvered sword marks targeting death back to the original direction. His sword marks targeting death's direction could be controlled by the mind once it was activated. It was just that this killer move was extremely fast and was not easy to manipulate. Sword marks targeting death returned to its proper path with difficulty, but suddenly there was another ice mirror in front. Fang Yuan could only helplessly look as sword marks targeting death derailed once again. Then there were the third, fourth, and following ice mirrors, surrounding sword marks targeting death, actually making it go around in a circle. This is bad. This goo immortal's method counters my sword marks targeting death. Fang Yuan's heart sank. A second rank 7. Goo immortal suddenly took a step forward and gave a deep bellow, an ice spear immediately condensing in his hand. He then pulled back his arm, like drawing a bow, and after stretching to the limit, he threw the spear towards Fang Yuan. The ice spear produced a heart-shaking screech as it pierced through the air. Cold air overflowed and vapor was frozen along the way, turning into beautiful frost that floated in the air. The breathtaking scene, however, carried intense killing intent. This is an immortal killer move formed with rank 7 immortal goo as the core. Fang Yuan quickly jumped back to dodge the spear. But this ice spear was like sword marks targeting death. Its direction could be controlled. Fang Yuan could not dodge. Gritting his teeth inwardly, he knew just blood-stained conqueror's robe could not block this move, so he sent out Strength Path Giant Hand. The giant hand suddenly appeared and created a barrier. It blocked in front of Fang Yuan. The ice spear reached the giant hand, immediately piercing through it and striking Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was sent flying backwards. Thick ice condensed on his whole body, and even the blood which he spurted out condensed into blocks of ice. His blood asset, Immortal Goo, also suffered damage. If he continued to activate it, blood asset Immortal Goo might be seriously injured or even destroyed. But in this situation, how could Fang Yuan care about this? He could only crazily use blood asset Immortal Goo to barely maintain bloodstained Conqueror's robe. The two rank 7 Goo Immortals are not illusions. What about the others then? Fang Yuan swallowed his blood and clapped, using the killer move Myriad Self. In an instant, large numbers of Strength Path Phantoms surged out and covered everyone's sight. These mysterious Goo Immortals looked stunned. The third rank 7 Goo Immortal smiled and called out, "Let me!" He raised his arms and puffed his cheeks before fiercely blowing. Spiraling winds shot out of his mouth. Within the blink of an eye, the wind enlarged to an enormous tornado. The tornado was as high as 30 meters. Its two ends were wide while the middle part was thinner and was dark green in color. It spiraled frantically, sharp as blades as it engulfed all the Strength Path Phantoms in its path and easily ripped them into pieces. The size of the Myriad Self-Army sharply reduced by more than half in a short period of time. Fang Yuan quickly replenished the numbers. "Brother, I will lend you a hand." The fourth rank 7 Goo Immortal spoke in a muffled voice. He pointed with his index finger, targeting the tornado. Instantaneously, a certain mysterious immortal killer move was activated. The tornado split into two before turning into four. Within moments, 4 enormous tornadoes ravaged the battlefield. Their power had increased by 4 times. Fang Yuan's mind shook once again, feeling the situation was far from good. Since the battle started, he had suffered light injuries. Blood asset Immortal Goo was injured and was in a danger of dying if it was continued to be used. While at the enemy's side, that immemorial desolate beast had yet to move. Among the 9 Goo Immortals, 4 rank 7s had each activated an immortal killer move, which were either mysterious and awe-inspiring or profound and exquisite. Could it be? This is not an illusion? As if he had fallen into an abyss, Fang Yuan's heart sank. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Wind whistled crazily. In a few short moments, the myriad self-army was going to be completely destroyed, even if Fang Yuan continuously replenished them. The quality of the strength path phantoms was too low. Their numbers could not be put to good use in front of rank 7 killer moves. Myriad Self, which had always been successful, now was in an awkward place and was not able to change the situation for Fang Yuan. No, there is still an advantage of Myriad Self. It can at least expend the enemy's immortal essence. I have a strong point in this aspect. But there are a lot of enemies. While I am alone, this advantage is as good as nothing. What can I do? The difference in strength between the two sides was so great that any battle tactic looked useless. In fact, these mysterious Gu immortals did not work together at once. Every time they made a move, they took turns. If this immortal-level battlefield killer move was not entrapping him, perhaps Fang Yuan could make his getaway. Unfortunately, the enemy had already prepared amply. Fang Yuan also lacked space path methods. Escaping itself was a problem. Not to mention he still had to face 4 rank 7 and 5 rank 6 Gu immortals, as well as that immemorial desolate beast. This was an extremely dangerous peril. This situation was simply the worst. Compared to his first life where he was besieged by righteous path Gu immortals, this was innumerably more dangerous. After all, at that time there had not been an immemorial desolate beast to control the situation. Fang Yuan probed these Gu immortals, but regarding the immemorial desolate beast, he did not even have a thought of probing it. Fang Yuan was relying on continuously activating Myriad Self to survive in this worsening situation. One after the other, the Gu immortals made moves. Strength path phantoms were almost annihilated. The Myriad Self army, which had always until now been surging with overwhelming momentum, simply could not form a large scale. Am I going to die here today? An intense sensation of incoming death shrouded Fang Yuan's mind. Requesting for reinforcements would not work. Within this battlefield killer move, Fang Yuan could not even connect to Treasure Yellow Heaven. However, he had still not given up. His thoughts moved like lightning, and he suddenly remembered, no, I still have a chance of survival. This chance of survival was not Spring-Autumn Cicada. Spring-Autumn. Cicada was filled with Heaven's will. Heaven's will was trying all methods possible to eradicate Fang Yuan. Using Spring-Autumn, Cicada was courting death. This chance of survival was in the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle. If it was before Fang Yuan obtained Heifan's true inheritance, his death would be certain at this moment. But it was different now. He still had one hope left. The upper extreme Heavenly Eagle was also an immemorial desolate beast. It was just that it was only an infant currently with desolate beast-level strength. However, Heifan's true inheritance naturally had time path immortal killer moves that could speed up the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle's aging and push it to grow in a short period of time. With this, Fang Yuan would have rank 8 battle strength. Coincidentally, the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle was also a space path immemorial desolate beast that could enter and exit Grotto Heavens and the immemorial 9 heavens. There was a huge chance it could pierce through this battlefield killer move. Persevere. I need to persevere until the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle reaches rank 8. When he thought of this, Fang Yuan immediately changed his battle tactics.